following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
We're live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different, I'm Tank Spencer, and he's Jeremy Greene, rolling along with the best case, worst case scenarios in the AFC North for 2021. The Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the team that everybody is hyping up as this is the team to beat in this division. And I think they're right. By a small margin, they are right. I like what the Cleveland Browns have put together. I get that Baker Mayfield is still their quarterback. I don't care. I think Baker was good enough last year that he'll make another step. They're getting more familiar with the Kevin Stefanski system. Odell Beckham Jr. will be back this year. He will hopefully be healthy. And best case scenario, this is a Super Bowl contending team.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Were they a Super Bowl contender last year?
No.
What is so much better this year? What's so much better? That's what I can't for the life of me understand. Oh, they had a good draft. Okay, well, let's be really honest about that draft, shall we? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yep.
There were teams that had reservations about him even before the Hart thing. So, I mean, it's not. I liked the pick. Don't get me wrong. It's not a home run. No doubt. Okay, they're better in the secondary because I do like John Johnson, and the Troy Hill edition was fine. I'm not jumping up and down about Troy Hill. I'm just not.
Right.
It's gotten comically dumb to me. It's the same team it was last year. At the end of the day, you're the same team you were last year.
I disagree.
Then answer the damn question I asked.
You
what's so much
just answered
better?
your own question.
So you added a safety, and you think that's going to make up for the fact you have a 62% completion percent quarterback. That doesn't make any sense. They have nothing to do with each other. The defense wasn't the problem last year. It wasn't. All right, so your defense is better. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You get into a shootout with Pat Mahomes, you're still bringing a squirt gun to a fucking AK-47 fight.
But if my defense can take one score off the board,
can't. It's not that much better than it was last year. It's just not.
Okay.
That's the thing that I cannot wrap my head around is now, they're a Super Bowl contender now. It's the same team. It's the same team with a couple new toys. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
I just
They
don't
were
care.
damn good last year. They were an 11-win team last year. They won a playoff game. They took that step. They've got all the momentum going into this year with Odell Beckham Jr. coming back, and hopefully this is the year. Best case scenario, Odell Beckham Jr. regains his former form and can stay healthy and stay on the field. You add Odell Beckham Jr. to that offense, and Baker can still play well.
He's made Baker worse, by the way.
I get that.
The whole time he's been in Cleveland, he's made Baker worse.
I get that, but this is best case scenario. Best case scenario, you don't think that is a better team. That is a Super Bowl contending team.
Right,
that goes from a middle of the road playoff team to win one and leave to we can do this thing. We can close this out.
Let's play a fun game. How many winning teams did the Cleveland Browns beat last year?
I don't know.
Winning record. Finished 8. I'll even give you 8-8. They finished 8-8 or better. How many teams did they beat? They had 11 wins?
I don't know.
I'll list them down for you. Bengals. Washington football team. And that was with Dwayne Haskins. That was before they went to Alex Smith, before they went to Taylor Heineke. Dallas Cowboys, worst defense in the NFL. Indianapolis, hey, we found one. And have no fear, there ain't going to be many of them. Cincinnati again. Houston, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, Tennessee, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week of the season, and you should have lost that game against a depleted Steelers team. It's 3. You beat 3 winning teams last year. Now, let's fast forward to this year, and let's look at your schedule. We've already talked about Baltimore. I like Pittsburgh better than most do. Here's your out-of-division opponents this year. At Kansas City, loss. Houston,
Win.
Chicago,
Win.
At Minnesota,
Win.
I don't love you in that game. I really don't.
Why?
On the road.
I'm not afraid that Minnesota could stop them.
Minnesota's defense is better than you think it is. But, all right, let's say I give you that one. At the L.A. Chargers.
It's going to be close.
East Coast to West, you're playing against Justin Herbert. It's not a layup by any stretch. Arizona Cardinals.
Another close one.
No. It's in Cleveland. That might be your saving grace.
Right.
Denver. That's a win. At New England. That ain't a fun place to go play, I'm just going to tell you. Especially not in November. Detroit.
Win.
Vegas.
Win.
At Green Bay.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, did you notice that none of the games I just said, in large part, sounded like the games you won last year? None of them. This is the team I'm going to bet the hardest on the under of any team in the NFL. Because you're trying to convince me of things that don't happen in this league.
Okay.
So year to year, you think this team that did not get markedly better. There's no marked difference in the talent level. This team was talented as hell last year. The quarterback was brutal. And nobody wants to admit that. You ran the ball down people's throats, and guess what? You're going to continue to do that. However, defensive coordinators have now had a year to watch you and go, what happens if I put 7 in the box? Can he beat me? No, because he's terrible under pressure. Do I know definitively Jedrick Wills is a stalwart franchise left tackle? Nope. No, I don't. And I didn't like him, and he didn't really change my opinion last year.
Right.
Jack Conklin stays hurt all the time. I'm just telling you, there's not a market improvement. The schedule's 10 times more difficult than it was last year. And yet people just keep telling me they're going to go 14-3. Bullshit. I think the Vegas number on Cleveland's like 11.5 or something stupid like that.
Yep, 11.5.
I'll take the under. I say this team goes 10-7. They're going to make the playoffs. And I think they get smoked by virtually every team that makes the playoffs in the AFC. Kansas City is definitively better. Buffalo is definitively better. Baltimore, to me, is definitively better. I think Tennessee is definitively better.
I disagree with that fully.
And you can. And you can. You still have yet to prove to me you beat up on shitbird teams last year. You don't get to do that this year. Yeah, you get the Bengals twice, who suck ass. And you get Detroit and Houston. Yeah, those are a couple layup wins. You're never going to convince me that Baker Mayfield goes to Lambeau and beats Aaron Rodgers. Not going to happen. You can sit here and do it till you're blue in the face. Right. I'll never buy it. You're not going to convince me, and I'm going to level. I'm not sure that going into Minnesota, I don't look at their weapons and go, they have better weapons than you. They're going to be able to run the ball too. And it's in their house, which is going to be loud because that team's better than people think it is. I don't like you. I don't like you in L.A. against the Chargers. I don't like you against Arizona. I just look at there's a lot of losses on the schedule. And nobody ever gives me the, okay, how are you going to get over the benchmarks that no team has gotten over in the last 20 years? You have an inaccurate, turnover-prone quarterback that's now going to be asked to do more. For you to take the step forward, you can't just rely on the surrounding pieces anymore. Baker has to take that step forward. I don't think he has that step.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, what is better offensively right now? It's the same team. It's the exact same offense you had last year. He wasn't overly good last year. He beat up on shit.
But he did improve. He had better numbers last year. And
in what regard?
And here's the thing.
No, hold on. Before you just glean over this, what did he have that was better? There's one answer to this.
I mean, he completed a greater percentage of his passes last year.
No, he didn't. His rookie year was better than last year. And it was like 1.5% off. He was a more accurate passer in his rookie year than he was
from the
last
year before as well.
And that's fine. You know what the difference was between the 2 years? And guess what? Your schedule wasn't just a bag of dicks the year before. You didn't get to beat the dregs of the league. Do you realize they had 7 wins against teams that picked in the top 10 of the draft? You don't get to do that this year. And that's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for the Cleveland Browns, and he doesn't think this is a possibility. I firmly do. In January, they're home with Baker Mayfield. I see an absolute no-doubt path that this team does not make the playoffs.
I don't. I don't see a path that they don't make the playoffs because, even if Baker Mayfield is dog shit, Kevin Stefanski will still take the ball out of his hands.
And that's fine. You can't beat these teams with good quarterbacks by running the ball. Sure. Oh, we're going to cram it down their throat 40 times. Okay, they get the ball and immediately put you back on the field. Because I still maintain that pass rush is not as good as you think it is because Jadeveon Clowney's overrated as hell and has been forever.
Mm-hmm. But he's really good when he's got an elite guy on the other side of him.
He was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been that in a long time.
Because he hasn't had that guy.
Okay. Teams are still going to double team Myles Garrett, and I don't like him one-on-one against anybody. Mm-hmm. He's been a cleanup guy his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I haven't loved it, and I'm not going to love it.
I do. I like everything about this team except for the quarterback. And to me, Baker Mayfield is good enough. He's serviceable enough to make them a contender.
I disagree. You went 11-5 last year against arguably, I don't remember exactly where strength of schedule, but I can find it.
Right. I'm sure it was low. I mean, there were a lot of easy teams on that schedule. And I understand what you're saying. However, as long as Baker doesn't fuck it up, as long as he's not completely awful, this is still a playoff team. Easy. My opinion. Now, do I disagree with you about Jadeveon Clowney being overrated? No, I don't. But when he plays on the other side from Myles Garrett, he's going to be able to get into the backfield. I believe a lot in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
By the way, they played the fourth worst schedule in the league last year.
There you go, fourth worst schedule.
Do you know where it is?
They don't have that this year.
No, they don't.
It's probably like 12th hardest schedule this year.
I'll tell you. I can tell you Pittsburgh is 1, so they're not going to be too far. They're 9.
Right.
They're 9. I'm just telling you. It's going to be a regression to the mean.
Mm-hmm.
People don't seem to understand. Baker Mayfield's told you what he is. He's 11-5 with everything best case scenario.
Except for Odell.
Who he's been worse with. We saw, it's not like Odell died before the season started. We saw them together.
Mm-hmm.
He sucked because he tries to force feed the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, I'll give you the stats on it. Shit, I've got the damn game logs pulled up in front of me. I got to pull up Odell's.
Again, Odell Beckham Jr., do you think that he just lost his passion for football?
I never thought he had one.
Okay.
He's all right, so
Did he get a Spaceball football, Space Jam football?
Okay, let me ask you a question. When was the last time Odell Beckham had more than 1,100 yards in a year?
God, it was when he was with the Giants, wasn't it?
It's 26, 5 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he didn't play games. Well, he played 15 games in 2019. He had 1,000 yards. There's a lot of receivers that have 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdowns, in 4 years combined, 2 of those in Cleveland. He has 16 touchdowns total. And I understand plus he's injury prone. I'm not even discussing the fact he's injury prone.
Right.
Missed games every year of his career except 1. And that's supposed to be your white knight? The guy that comes in and rides in and saves your offense? The guy that last year, so I did finally get to game logs for Odell. Last year, he played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Played in 7 games. He was targeted less than 7 times, all but twice. What does that tell you? He's not an elite receiver. You want him to be. He's not. He's not, and he hasn't been for a long time. Now, look at Baker's game-by-game stats and performance. You know what the commonality seems to be?
That when Odell Beckham Jr. is not on the field, he does well?
He had, in terms of QBR.
I guess better.
In terms of QBR.
Yep.
Baker had 2 games where he was over an 80, where he was over a 74. He had 2 games that he was over a 74. One of them was against the Colts, and one of them was against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
That's with Odell. I'm just telling you, this is a team, and you're more than entitled to your opinion. I just think it's absolutely misguided as hell.
I mean, that's fine.
Look at every team in the AFC that can make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they all have in common?
What's that?
Every one of them has a better quarterback than Cleveland does. And you give me the ancillary pieces, okay, Baltimore's are better. You give me the ancillary pieces, you go strike for strike with me, I'm going to get to Baltimore way before I get to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Just the way it is. But keep telling me I'm crazy.
I'm not telling you you're crazy. I am telling you crazy if you honestly believe they're not going to make the playoffs.
I'll take it right now.
Because I think it's a game. I think it's a game difference between them and Baltimore in the division.
I'll take Baltimore outright for anything you want to win this division. Mm-hmm. Schedule's easier, and I get the better quarterback. Mm-hmm. All in. Barring injury, I'll take Baltimore to win this division. Is this going on the board? Because I'm challenging you to it right now.
Baltimore to win the division?
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore, you take Cleveland.
We'll put it on the board.
Done. That's a free one for me.
Yeah, put it on the board. We'll go Baltimore versus Cleveland.
Stephen Tao said, can we drug test Tank? I've been asking that for a long time.
You don't want to.
There's so many things I want to say right now. I'm not gonna.